Justin, this man out here, one of the hockey bros, if I had $8.5 million coming in my pocket each year, you better believe the moment my teeth were fucked, I'd be driving down to Dr. Jason Diamond in Beverly Hills. Dr. Diamond, it's time for veneers. And we're getting a whole new set of teeth. Why are these people, Justin, why are people rich who aren't me? Justin, why are people rich who shouldn't be?
It's the eternal American question.
There are people out here struggling, trying to put food on our table and buy insulin for our diabetic cats. Okay?
Is that a lot of people are in that situation?
Yes. There's many people who can relate, I'm sure of it. Yeah, that's right.
You're not talking about yourself for sure. This is a common problem.
Well, absolutely not, Justin. This is a universal experience that everyone listening can relate to. Why are these people who don't give a shit about looking nice have so much money? Give me that money. I want to look better. I want veneers.
Okay. There's so many things to touch on. So many things to touch on there.
Did you see his grill? Justin,
no, I didn't see.
Half a tooth chopped in half.
I saw the fact that he was missing a tooth. I saw the monologue.
Tooth absolutely missing.
Yeah.
What's going on with that?
Well, okay.
If you have that and don't get it fixed, mental illness.
Not everyone's goal is to look hot or attractive.
Okay, sure.
So that's one.
As evidenced by your appearance today on the pod.
Time isn't real, yet it controls us anyway. Justin.
And our aim and your aim are the same, to find dangerous lunatics, haters, and punk trash, and make them fans of the pod. Jeff.
And welcome to Bants. That's right, listeners. We are talking about one battle after another. The best picture frontrunner today. Jeff, how you feeling about it?
I love this movie. I was really surprised. I always have to be in the mood to watch a movie, and I feel like I haven't been in a long time. Yeah. And you know, I've been doing the short form content, going through the YouTube shorts.
Aren't we all?
Are we all? Because every time I send somebody a YouTube short, they're like, YouTube short? I'm like, oh, I'm sorry. I didn't know that we had standards of social media in this day and age.
I mean, Hannah's sending us Facebook reels out here.
Okay, listen.
That's actually embarrassing.
But sometimes the content's good. What am I supposed to do? Not share something hilarious with my friends?
I think you're supposed to not be on Facebook. That would be my recommendation.
Okay, well, I have to be for Marketplace. I'm legally required to.
Meta, let's not get it behind the curtain, but
oh, God.
It is such a clusterfuck of a company. And like, if
it really
had any semblance of respect for their audience, they would just come out with a standalone Marketplace app. But they're like, no, you have to actually live in this hellhole to access the one good thing that we provide, which is Marketplace.
Justin, you were so right about that, honestly.
It's terrible.
Like, it should absolutely be its own standalone thing. You know what I found out is a standalone app today?
What's that?
YouTube Music.
I do know about this.
Someone sent me a link to a YouTube Music. They're like, oh, I love this new song. And I said, what is this now? I said, what app is that? They said YouTube Music. I said, I didn't know that this existed. Whatever happened to Vivo? Whatever happened to Vivo?
It's interesting. Yeah, Vivo, I think, was associated with like music videos.
Right.
YouTube Music is like a full streaming service. Like there doesn't have to be a music video.
Yeah, it's like Spotify replacement.
Yeah, except it's even worse.
Oh, it's so bad.
It's worse than Spotify. Not even just in terms of UI, but in terms of like artist payouts, it's terrible. Horrible.
I can't concern myself with that. You know, we can't fix the world. We can't fix the world.
You know what? You're right, Jeff. We can't. What we can do, though, is get into some hot topics. Tough segue? Is that what you're responding to?
Wow. You're doing that one yourself because I was not done talking.
Oh,
Justin
sorry.
said we got time. We don't have time today.
We have a long slate of news items to get through today, Jeff.
Well, what can I say? There's a lot going on in the culture.
Shit is going down. Jeff, the Brit Awards. This is the British Grammys, basically.
Yeah, basically.
We're not going to have a whole episode about it. We're not going to go through all the winners. But there were a couple of performances that I think we want to shout out from the Brits. One of them is from Rosalía, who performed her song Berghain off of her album Lux, which is one that we haven't talked about, but I think one that got a little bit of traction last year in the culture. And a lot of my friends personally really loved. Have you seen this performance?
No, it's so 2000 and late, Justin. That was 2025 that came out. We're in the new year.
I would recommend you watch it because it's such a banger. So obviously Berghain has this like connotation. We're all familiar with the German club, Berghain.
But of course,
the legendary techno and dance club.
Human toilets in the basement, Justin.
Sure.
Human toilets in the basement. That's strange. I don't think I want to go to a club doing that.
Do we want to go down that rabbit hole right now?
I don't want to go down that hole ever. We're not doing human toilets. Toilets exist for a reason. The porcelain throne is where I choose to sit my tuchus.
Okay, we're going to go down this rabbit hole just like one quick second, because I do need a clarification.
Yeah.
When you say human toilets, do you mean like urinals and toilets that are shaped like people? Or do you mean like actual living people?
There's scat play happening. People are shitting and pissing on people in the basement, Berghain.
But that's not like facilitated, or that's not a part of the Berghain experience. It's just something that happens.
Well, I think it's a part of the experience if you go down there and experience it. But I don't think it's certainly not required.
And it's not like advertised. Berghain's not like, hey, people are shitting on each other over here. Come on, let's go.
The thing is, I don't think that Berghain does any real advertising except they post like what DJ is going to be playing what night.
True,
like,
but
the reputation, it's word of mouth. It's buzzy already. I don't think they have a big marketing budget, you know? But I don't think that they're like, this is, hey, everyone, chill. This isn't that kind of place. They're just like, people are liking it. Imagine the cleanup.
So you're saying they're not shutting it down?
Correct.
Okay. Interesting.
That is what I'm saying. Ain't you listened to that podcast? You were the one who told me to listen to it.
Clearly you didn't listen to it because I never mentioned human toilets.
Justin, I guess for the girls who get it, get it. The girls who don't, gorn. What was that podcast called again?
Are you being serious?
Yes.
Okay, because sometimes I've mentioned it like maybe like 6 times on the podcast.
I know. Point.
It's called Search Engine.
Search Engine. I could not remember. I knew it was like a mundane name, but it was like befitting the. That is a mundane name.
Search Engine catching strays out here.
Are you kidding? They're a fantastic podcast. I really enjoyed that episode, and I listened to one other one that you sent me before we even started the pod. I don't remember what it's about, but I do remember it was good.
My guess is Airplane Coffee. Was that the
Yes,
one?
That's exactly it. Justin, by the way, you know, that age-old adage is so true. I may not remember all the details. I don't know what was said, but I remember how I felt. You know? Yeah. And I remember thinking, this is a good podcast. They do good quality journalism.
Okay. I'm glad that you've enjoyed it. Yeah. I have to be honest. I haven't been listening that much recently because they've been tackling like very like real issues like Venezuela and a lot of AI stuff. And some of that stuff has just been like, I'm like, I hear about this everywhere else. You know what I mean? It's no longer fun Berghain or Airplane Coffee stuff, you know?
You could just pretend like most people in our country that you don't even know where Venezuela is on a map.
Yeah, unfortunately, the prison of knowledge, Geoff, you know?
Knowledge is a prison. I go through hell having knowledge.
Okay, let's get back to the Brits.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Rosalía's performance, which is of Berghain, which is how we got here. This album is really influenced by opera as a whole, like European music, Italian music.
It certainly is. Girl, you ain't lived until you heard Anna sing Berghain at karaoke.
She sang Berghain at karaoke?
She sure did. It was insanity.
A great pull. Wait, I might have been there. You
were there, actually. Now
it was a Christmas party? Was it her Christmas party? Yeah. So I do remember this. She, first of all, absolutely killed the vocals, but also the production design was insane. Similar to a performance we're going to talk about in a little bit.
Oh, I thought you were talking about Anna's performance. I was like, yeah, she's good.
Talking about Rosalía's performance.
Right.
There were a ton of extras and dancers that are in the background. Like,
it's a big stage. You got to fill it up.
Mouthing the words along with her. These angelic lights coming down on Rosalía. Bjork is featured on this song.
Yeah.
She comes out. I think a YouTube comment said she comes out looking like an Elden Ring boss. She's wearing the craziest shit you've ever seen. She has the most expressive hand gestures as she's singing. She's clearly having a great time. And then the song ends as it does on the album. But unlike the album, it goes into this like hard techno outro with the same opera vocals. And all of the same extras that were like singing the opera vocals are now just like absolutely raving, a la Berghain.
Yeah.
it's insane because, I mean, first of all, it's just so much energy. It's so fun. It's a little bit brat, honestly, in terms of just the aesthetic. Rosalía is wearing this like white dress, you know, looking very virginal in the Catholic tradition. But as she starts dancing, she's like throwing her skirts up and she's wearing these like hot pink underwear that flash through every once in a while, which I think is like such a masterful touch. I wasn't as high on her album Lux as some of my friends were, but this performance makes me wish that I could see her live on that tour because it is just like so high energy, so fucking fun. So I hate to use the word epic because you hate that.
I do. And I stand by it.
But it's like very heavy and awesome. So I thought that was such an incredible performance.
You know what? I feel like people went through a phase of like using the word awesome a lot. And I feel like you used it perfectly just then. Like it quite literally, you were awestruck watching
Incites awe. Yes, that's what I mean by that, literally. Mm-hmm. It makes me feel like I am a peasant in like 1200 and I'm like watching the Catholic Church. You know what I mean? Like something's going on with the Pope and I'm like, how do they make that fire happen?
Wow.
That's how I feel watching Rosalía perform.
So in your mind, did people not know what fire was in the year 1200?
This is getting into something totally different, but I feel like a lot of the like ceremonial stuff that the church would do at that time was essentially like, I mean, it's not magical. Do you know what I mean?
Like
they're
smoke
like
and mirrors.
Exactly.
Ceremony,
and like
drama,
all of those like
drama.
sconces or like what's it called when they have those like things that are giving off smoke, incenses. Yes. All that stuff. It brings about this sense of just like ecstatic feeling. Right. And there is something that is in common with religion and like raving. And I think that Rosalía really captures that in this performance. It was really cool, really affecting.
Damn. I guess I'll watch it.
You gotta watch it. And you also wanted to bring up another performance that happened at the Brits.
Well, I want to talk about Miss Harry Styles performing Aperture at the Brit Awards. Did you watch this?
I have seen the performance, yes.
What did you think of it?
I really don't know which way you're going to go with this because I feel like you might hate this, you might love this. I thought it was fun. Harry Styles, One Direction, they were not known for their choreography in their early days.
Girl, you don't got to tell me. I need to watch about 20 seconds of this video.
And they're mostly kind of just like standing on stage and looking cute and like singing their songs, and that's their whole vibe, right?
And I will say, I feel like that's still Harry's vibe.
It is. I mean, he's having a little bit more fun with it these days.
Oh yeah, he's like jamming.
He's jamming. He's doing a couple snaps, looking a little uncle out on the dance floor. You know what I mean?
He's very much looking unk.
Yeah, but he also had a lot of extras that had pretty fun choreography in this performance.
Okay, I have to tell you, the big sunglasses, the white like high tops, and then the Levi's with the black belly t-shirt. It's kind of working. That's kind of fun. But then I was like, why is Harry dressed like Rick Ross?
Okay.
I mean, not Rick Ross. I was saying the Rick Roll guy.
Okay.
What was his name? Rick Austin? I don't know. Also very much giving Peter Gabriel vibes in this getup.
Okay, I was so confused why you put Rick Ross in the show document. I was like, are we talking about the same person?
Rick Ainsley? Was that his name? The guy who Rick rolled.
Rick Astley.
You know what I mean?
Rick Astley.
Rick Astley, yeah. That's what he's dressed like. Or like early Friends, like Chandler Bing's like workwear.
Yes.
Like really high trousers.
This is definitely 90s revivalism. Yeah.
I don't like it. And I didn't understand what it was supposed to mean in context with like the rest of the outfits.
It was weird, yeah, because like the background dancers and the people that were performing the choreography were dressed the same way that Harry is on his album cover.
Right.
Which you would think, and maybe I feel like it would have been more philosophically aligned with the message of the song if they were all dressed the same, including Harry.
Mm-hmm.
But my guess is that was a choice to make Harry stand out amongst the other dancers because...
Give him a white belly shirt.
Yeah. I mean, I agree with you.
We had other options.
I don't really understand what's going on with the look.
I don't get it either.
It wasn't a horrible performance. I wasn't like, this is embarrassing.
I wasn't embarrassed, but I was kind of like eye rolling at the people in the comments who are like, oh my God, we're so back, blah, blah, blah. Like he dances too. I'm like, I don't know if we could call that dancing. He was moving with fervor and energy, excitement.
He was excited, you know, and there are people like we mentioned Somber's performance at the Grammys. I would argue Somber's quote unquote dancing was significantly worse than what Harry Styles was doing here at the Brits. So like it could be much worse. Of course, Harry, a much more established artist, and clearly some budget has gone into this particular performance. There's a lot of background dancers. There's choreography.
lighting.
And I appreciate that he's putting in the effort, right? Because there are also male performers that go on stage and they kind of just like jump around and that's their whole performance.
I'm sorry. What was this to you if not jumping about?
Well, what I'm saying is it's the additional production design and creative design around him. It's not just him.
We're like, guys, we need something else in here to kind of distract from what's going on right there. Well, let's fill her up. That kind of a thing.
Yes, but I think that like in caring about that and having like a creative vision for a performance like this does matter. And it's not something that every male artist does.
So
I do think that female artists are much more in touch with this. Male artists, especially rappers, tend to kind of just be on stage and just be like
careful
rapping. Well,
Black History Month has been extended.
Kanye is the exception to this, right? When during his peak times.
The Donda era?
No, not the Donda era.
That was crazy. I was just like picturing him floating around like a giant Lego in the sky.
I do like the Runaway performance, for example, at the VMAs, like absolutely classic, iconic performance. And this feels a little bit like in the same tradition where we're in an era where I feel like female pop stars are dominating.
100%.
And it is nice to see somebody who is maybe I'm trying to think, our biggest male pop star?
Oh, definitely, hands down. I mean, next to Bad Bunny.
Bad Bunny, right? Who also is similarly the production design of the Super Bowl performance, insanely good.
Yeah.
He's a rapper, you know, I wouldn't describe him as a dancer. You know, he wasn't like going off with insane choreography during the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
But it was more the production design and the creative vision that lent itself to the success of that Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Harry Styles is trying to go for that. Has he reached the heights of Bad Bunny? I would say no, but I'm still, you know, cautiously optimistic for this album.
Well, you know, he has a Netflix special coming out. He's filming a concert in Manchester.
Yeah.
And it's like just playing the album for the first time.
Should be interesting. I've read a couple of early reviews. You know, some of the big outlets have gotten the album early because this is probably one of the biggest albums of the year.
Yeah.
And relatively positive so far. I do think there's some vibes around this album that it's like, oh, baby went to his first rave. You know, like, okay, Harry Styles just discovered dance music. He just discovered LCD sound system or something, you know?
I don't really like it when people say that because we're all on different timelines and life experiences, and we're allowed to discover things after other people have or beforehand.
And you know what, Geoff? I could not agree more. I feel like a lot of that sentiment is just gatekeeping like electronic music culture. Yeah. And I mean, it's possible that he listened to that stuff and then he makes bad music. And if that's the case, then I won't like the album. But just by the fact that he just happened to discover it now, and now he's making music like that, just by that alone, that's not a good reason to be like, oh, this is shit, you know, or this is going to be shit.
I agree.
So I'm very optimistic for the album, to be honest.
I am too. I'm excited for it. I have to say he was just on Brittany Broski's Royal Court. I don't know if you ever watched that, but I did watch the Harry Styles episode. He was very funny on it.
I've seen some clips. He also had a Runner's World cover story because he is maybe the most accomplished celebrity runner. He ran a sub-3 marathon, I think, which is very fast. Oh, Geoff, are you abstaining from this conversation?
Yep.
Okay. Oh, listeners, Geoff just covered his camera because maybe he was trying to imply that he had hung up.
Yep.
I see.
That's the effect.
Let me tell you, as somebody who is currently married to a quite accomplished runner and is a part of a run club, the runners have taken him on with open arms. They love to have a celebrity runner in their midst.
I don't like that. They only care about people when they have the same interests. Remember that horrible culture of them calling everybody else who didn't run non-athletic normal people?
NARPS is the acronym.
Very rude. Very exclusionary. They're like a rat jumping around the corner looking for a food. Very jealous.
I'm pro NARP as in people that don't do athletics, but I'm anti-NARP, the acronym. I think we shouldn't be using that.
I agree.
Yeah.
It's very rude.
You know what else I think we shouldn't be doing, Geoff?
I have an idea.
Oh, take a guess.
Letting gigantic monopolization mergers occur.
Yeah, I think maybe we shouldn't be allowing mega corporations to completely absorb other mega corporations. And of course, we're talking about the recent news that Warner Brothers, the famed film studio, also contains now Discovery, owner of HBO, our favorite streaming service. They have actually done a bit of a 180. They've rejected the offer from Netflix, which was the last news that we talked about here on the pod, for the purchase of Warner Brothers. And they have instead accepted Paramount's offer, which has now ballooned up to $111 billion Netflix has bowed out of the bidding. So now Paramount is the only suitor that is interested in Warner Brothers. And unless there is some significant regulatory obstacle that magically appears, it certainly looks like Paramount will be buying Warner Brothers.
So crazy. The Ellisons are going to rule everything. It's just a matter of time.
Unlike the Netflix deal, the cable properties like CNN, for example, will not be spun out into a separate company. This $111 billion includes all of the cable networks as well. So CNN will also be under the Paramount banner. A couple of other details that the Ellisons have disclosed about this purchase. Plans are right now that HBO and Paramount Plus will merge into a single streaming service. The other thing is that they apparently do not have any plans to change the creative pipeline by which films are made, and they allegedly don't plan to change the creative pipeline at HBO. They want to keep Casey Bloys, who of course is the head of HBO, doing his thing because he's been very successful.
Sure. Until they don't like the subject matter being covered by like John Oliver, for example.
Yeah. There's so many different angles to this that I don't like. And you know what's really crazy is that this merger is so bad that it makes me think about Netflix as actually like the better choice and like the good guy in this situation. Because as much as I was not about Netflix buying Warner Brothers, for many reasons.
The lighting, the rest.
Let me list the reasons why I don't like this particular merger. For one, at least Netflix didn't have the same level of redundancies as Paramount and Warner Brothers do. Like Paramount and Warner Brothers are essentially the same company. They have a streaming service, they have a movie studio, they have like cable networks that they, put out live TV on. They're basically one-to-one the same fucking company. So what that means is when they come together, there's going to be a whole bunch of redundancies. And that means an insane amount of layoffs. We're talking massive layoffs on an order we haven't seen in a very long time in the entertainment industry. That also means less films coming out in theaters because we now have one company putting them out instead of two.
Fewer.
You don't want your films competing with each other.
Yeah.
You don't want your television shows competing with each other either. So you have less television shows. So that's reason number two. Just less output for us to talk about here on the pod. The stuff that we love, the HBO shows that we love to talk about here, less of those. And then finally, of course, there's a political angle here. And that can be very explicit in the way that we've seen 60 Minutes and CBS News take a hit after the Ellisons took over Paramount.
Mm-hmm.
That can now apply to stuff like CNN, which is a Warner Brothers property. But also, what does the media that this new mega corporation puts out look like?
Bad.
Is everything going to be Mission Impossible 20?
Yeah, basically. It's going to be like, we're done with Yellowstone. Now we're moving on to Zion. We're doing the Grand Canyon.
I don't see Paramount as being a very creative friendly company. Do you know what I mean?
I do.
Warner Brothers, in comparison, let's just talk about some of the hits that Warner Brothers has had just in the last couple of years. Dune.
Sinners.
One Battle After Another. Wuthering Heights.
Barbie
is a great example. I mean, films that you have auteur directors directing them.
Greta Gerwig.
Whether you like some of those examples or not, they've been hits. Like, this is the type of cinema that I think that it's the best that we can hope for in today's world.
Sure.
And now they're under the wing of David Ellison.
And that's so tough.
What are we going to get?
That's a wing I don't need to be under. I'll stand out in the storm.
I feel bad about this. Geoff, anything you want to add?
No, I want to talk about Game of Thrones.
Okay. Well, let's move on then. That's a bit of a bummer.
We're doing too many bummers on the pod. That's part of why I wanted to cut this.
Well, I know, but
the pod is a fun space.
This is probably the most impactful entertainment news of the year.
Justin, we're not CNN. CNN ain't even going to exist.
But this does affect the stuff that we talk about. You know what I mean? I'm not saying we have to cover every news item, but this is one that does directly interface with the stuff that we talk about every week. I mean, multiple of the things that we're going to talk about, including this new Game of Thrones project, is happening at WB. So I'm just saying it is relevant.
I'm not saying it's not relevant. That's not the basis of my argument. My argument is this isn't fun to talk about. I need fun.
Okay.
If it's not fun, I'm not interested.
Well, then let's get into this next topic then.
Okay. I just need you to hear me.
I hear you. You. I think we got to have balance. Not everything can be fun. And I do think that understanding the media landscape that we exist in is also important.
James, shut it down. My publicist did not tell me that these questions were going to be asked or these topics were going to be covered. I'm out. Thank you so much.
Moving on to
Okay.
the news that a Game of Thrones film, this is in cinemas, is officially in development at Warner Brothers.
This is crazy.
According to reports, this will cover Aegon's conquest. So this is early days Targaryens when Aegon the Conqueror flew across the Narrow Sea to Westeros and conquered the Seven Kingdoms.
From Valyria.
That's right, from Valyria.
The Doom!
Attached to this project is Beau Willimon, who is a writer for Andor and House of Cards, both of which, pretty highly acclaimed properties.
Justin, I can feel your little neener getting hard from over here.
Because of the Andor mention.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I do love Andor. Let me tell you, though, I hate to get into bummer material here, though.
Oh, dear God. Justin loves to be depressed. Justin wants me to be depressed. I go through hell being depressed.
Anytime that a Westeros property goes off book, that tends to be, generally, generalizing, tends to be when it starts to get bad.
Like the Moonstone. Do you remember that?
Vaguely.
That was like one of the spin-off shows that they cast, and Naomi Watts was like a starring role. And
yes,
they
it was supposed to be
they
Valyria,
were like, this
right?
is just so bad we can't even air the pilot.
They they recorded the pilot and everything. What's up, y'all? Editor Justin here, just popping in for a quick correction. The title of this unaired Game of Thrones pilot is actually Blood Moon. Moonstone is how you evolve a Jigglypuff. Let's get back to the show. So here's the thing. Aegon's conquest, there's not very much known about it in the world that George has put together. So this would be more or less a completely original story. Right now, the way that it stands is kind of like, well, Aegon flew across the Narrow Sea and he burned a bunch of shit and then he took over. Like, that's essentially
that's what they like
extent
to do.
That we know about that phenomenon.
Right.
This does worry me. Do I like the choice of writer? Sure. I like Andor, but I don't really see what the themes could be here. Like, Star Wars and Andor already kind of had a built-in concept, which is like resistance and revolution, right?
Sure.
I don't know that I see what the theme behind Aegon's conquest is.
Girl, it's all about money. It's all about money.
Well, that's my worry. That's exactly my worry, Geoff. But what are your thoughts on this?
Well, Aegon heard about the gold rush and said, let's go over there and see what they're doing. And then he came here and burned a bunch of people and was like, I live here now, and also I'm the king.
But is that a good movie?
And everyone's like, you have 3 dragons, so I guess you're right. I don't think it's going to be good.
Okay.
I think it's hard to operate within a world without really having lived in it. You know what I mean? George R.R. Martin lived in Westeros.
I am curious to see what director they bring on board for this.
I don't even care, Justin. You can't have a good director with lousy writing. It still doesn't work.
It's true, unfortunately.
It's like a Ryan Murphy type of situation. It's like, this looks good, but it is trash. Trash, darling, trash. A poker player. You're trash, darling. You don't even have a last name. Trash.
I don't understand that reference.
Listeners, if you understand that reference, comment below.
Geoff, I'll tell you, I understood a lot of references in the trailer for upcoming film Scary Movie 6.
Oh my God, Justin. There were so many references to get. I have to tell you, I'm absolutely sat for this.
Are you? Okay.
Well, remember, I think I talked about on the pod, a bunch of us got together and watched Scary Movie 2, and we were like, wow, this was such a bad, like, low-quality movie that made no sense. Remember?
That's exactly right. Yeah, I couldn't agree more about the badness of that film.
And here are the 2 things I think that saved those films and will probably be the good parts of this too.
You say so? Saved Scary Movie 2 a terrible movie?
Yeah, they were the only things that made it watchable.
Okay, sure. Okay,
it's gonna have to be Regina Hall and Anna Faris,
who are both starring in this new Scary Movie 6. It's also starring Wayans brothers. Is that how you pronounce that?
Brothers, yeah.
The 2 Wayans brothers, Marlon and Sean Wayans, and it's directed by Michael Titus? Not sure how to pronounce his last name.
Justin doesn't understand black names, everyone. I just need you to know.
Do you know how to pronounce his name?
Nope. I haven't even looked at it.
So,
point for you.
Just like who? So he previously directed the Wayans brothers in A Haunted House.
Okay, it's Wayans. It's Wayans brothers.
Wayans brothers, okay.
Yeah.
So he previously directed the Wayans brothers in A Haunted House, which seems basically like a Scary Movie ripoff.
100%. They couldn't get the IP.
This is the first Scary Movie film to feature the Wayans brothers since Scary Movie 2.
Right.
So my guess is that the creative team associated with the Wayans brothers, when their star power came on, they were like, okay, we're choosing the director.
Right.
Now, please tell me, after watching this trailer, why you're sat for this film. because I don't know if you saw the same trailer that I saw, but this trailer seems to be appealing. They're like, we're going to trigger all the libs. Watch out, snowflakes. And it literally features a fucking Eminem song, like the most edgelord shit of all time from the early like, come on. Justin, I am not feeling this.
I just want to go back to 1999. Take a ride through my old neighborhood and watch a scary movie, you know?
Sure.
And if you get that reference, also comment below. We're 2 for the reference count. I think it's going to be fun. I'm sorry. Anna Faris and Regina Hall are so funny together. And even though the dialogue already in that trailer was so stupid, they just are such good actors that I was like, they're funny because they really commit to it.
Listen, love Regina Hall. Love Anna Faris. Yeah. We'll get more into Regina Hall later this pod, I think.
No, we won't. Forbidden.
Okay.
This is the only time we talk about it.
And I really hope that they're getting their bag from this. That's all I'm going to say. Because
of course they are.
For listeners who maybe haven't clicked through to the trailer, the opening gag of this trailer, is
so stupid.
There is a person who is on the subway. They are attacked by, of course, Ghostface from the Scream franchise. He stabs her. Or is it her? Because this person starts screaming. A person on the subway says, she's been stabbed. And then the person who was stabbed says, how dare you? My pronouns are they, them.
Pretty bad.
This is comedy? Is this comedy? This is what we're doing for our first joke on this trailer?
That part is real tough.
The whole thing is tough, Geoff. I'm sorry to be this guy, but the whole thing is tough. The whole thing is tough. The whole marketing campaign is like, we're going to trigger all you guys. Every boundary is going to be crossed.
That is true.
It's like a fucking Dane Cook stand-up show.
Oh, God. Remember him? Everybody wanted to be him in high school. It was very odd. I said, this is a dork time.
Even I was like, Dane Cook is not it. Even in like middle school, I was like, that's not for me.
Well, Justin, because you had taste.
I've always been kind of anti this style of comedy. I'm not really into like South Park. Like, this is just provocation for provocation's sake, and it's just not for me. I understand that there are people who will like this, you know, mostly millennials.
You know what? Delete all that. I can't get canceled. I can't get canceled on the pod for liking the Scary Movie trailer, thinking it was stupid fun.
You can like, you can be like, this is offensive, but I thought it looks like a fun thing to watch in the theater or whatever.
Okay, but can you? Because I feel like people are like, oh, if you think that this piece of media is funny, then that tells me everything I need to know about you. And they make it out to be like an all-encompassing characterization of who you are and what your belief system is. Mm-hmm. And like, I don't actually think that that's true. Like, I watch dumb shit sometimes because, like, I watch Real Housewives, as you know.
Yes, that's a great comp here.
I love Housewives. I think that it's ridiculous because these are, like, for the most part, very wealthy people that have like champagne problems, sometimes quite literally. It's like, on the one hand, I'm really enjoying this entertainment factor, and on the other hand, I can be disgusted at the state of oligarchic capitalism that's taken over our country and be like, these people are part of the wealth hoarding problem.
Yeah.
So it's like, I don't actually think that my interests or my value that I get from watching a piece of media does inform very much about me at all, other than there's something in this that I found value in and enjoyed. You know?
Yeah. I mean, you can find value even in the shittiest thing. Do you know what I mean?
Tell me, I found a $20 bill in the porta potty the other day. I absolutely took it home. I didn't need to ask questions. Money find me.
Listen, I know this is a bit, but I know this is a lie because you would never take anything out of a porta potty. Justin, you would never. Jeff Taylor would never take anything out of a porta potty.
You don't know about me. I got stuff going on.
All right, sure. Sure, Jeff. I do not believe you.
No, I would never. Could you imagine?
But I do think that any piece of art, you can find things that are valuable. The same way we talked about Anna Faris and Regina Hall being actors that we love who are a part of this. I just struggle with things that are not. Like, a great example of this is like Marty Supreme, which we talked about a couple weeks ago. That film is one that portrays a lot of bad shit, but it does have an underlying theme that I agree with, like politically, philosophically, whatever, right?
That Kevin O'Leary should be our dad?
Oh, no, I don't agree with that. I don't think that was really the message of the film.
I think it was. According to some viewers, looking at you, man. You know who you are.
The thing about Scary Movie 6 is that this is just, again, provocation for provocation's sake. It's just trying to be fucking stupid and like...
They're already imagining all the listicles and the bad reviews that they'll get from this.
And they're like, bring it on, baby.
10 reasons why Scary Movie 7 shouldn't have happened. 13 reasons why I should kill myself after watching Scary Movie 7.
That one's written by me. I feel like it's just a little bit empty in terms of like what we're putting out into the world, but I also understand that like people need entertainment, and I'm not yucking anybody's yum, you know. So if you're into it, you're into it, but it's definitely not for me. That's for sure.
And that's okay.
Something that's for you, Geoff, was Connor Storrie's hosting gig on SNL last weekend.
Let me tell you what, Justin. This wasn't just for me. This was a host for the girls and the gays, for real, for real. Connor Storrie. What an incredible actor. This man will be EGOTed before his dying day. I say it now.
EGOTed?
Yeah, he's going to be EGOTed for sure. He's absolutely winning an Oscar. He's got like the comedic timing and range of Steve Martin and the acting chops of Heath Ledger. What? This
is just like very high praise. That's Justin, all. It's like incredible.
Well, Justin, you must not have watched the episode if you don't if you're not agreeing with me emphatically. I don't.
I've seen a couple of skits. I've seen sketches. Sorry, I always say that.
Okay, you know I was about to yell at you,
but I haven't seen the whole episode. No. So one of the things I saw during I think it was during his opening monologue, there was a bit of maybe a squashing of a beef between the men's and women's hockey team. Can you describe that to me?
Sure. Well, you know, two of the girls from the hockey team and two of the boys from the hockey team, they came together, and Kendall Jenner showed up on stage and handed them a Pepsi and said, now everything's right with the world. That's basically what happened.
Wow, I can't believe she fixed the entire hockey drama that was happening. That's classic Kendall.
It's classic Kendall. It's a classic Kendall move. That's what they actually said. They said, you know what, writers...
She loves to fix racism and sexism.
We need a classic Kendall here. I don't think there's enough Kendall. Connor Storrie basically was like brokering a peace deal between them on stage. And it was like a bit, everybody's in on the joke, haha. Justin, this man out here, one of the hockey bros, if I had $8.5 million coming in my pocket each year, you better believe the moment my teeth were fucked, I'd be driving down to Dr. Jason Diamond in Beverly Hills. Dr. Diamond, it's time for veneers. And we're getting a whole new set of teeth. Why are these people, Justin, why are people rich who aren't me? Justin, why are people rich who shouldn't be?
It's the eternal American question.
There are people out here struggling, trying to put food on our table and buy insulin for our diabetic cats. Okay?
Is that a lot of people are in that situation?
Yes. There's many people who can relate, I'm sure of it. Yeah, that's right.
You're not talking about yourself for sure. This is a common problem.
Well, absolutely not, Justin. This is a universal experience that everyone listening can relate to. Why are these people who don't give a shit about looking nice have so much money? Give me that money. I want to look better. I want veneers.
Okay. There's so many things to touch on. There.
Did you see his grill?
Justin, no, I didn't see.
Half a tooth chopped in half.
I saw the fact that he was missing a tooth. I saw the monologue.
Absolutely missing.
Yeah.
What's going on with that?
Well, okay.
If you have that and don't get it fixed, mental illness.
Not everyone's goal is to look hot or attractive.
Okay, sure.
So that's one.
As evidenced by your appearance today on the pod. But what about the people who want to be able to, I don't know, chew food or not be talking like the gopher from Winnie the Pooh? Remember that guy? Suffering succotash.
Well, and here's where I'm going to say number two, you know, this is not a molar missing. You know, this is an aesthetic tooth. It's, you know, we're talking.
No, that is a speech tooth. That is a tooth you need for speech.
And here's number three.
The tit's the tip of the tongue, or whatever they say.
These men are hockey players. So you're really going to get veneers on just to get them knocked straight out in your next hockey match?
How about some dense mouth guards?
They're wearing mouth guards out there. You think they're not wearing mouth guards?
I don't know about that.
They still get the teeth knocked out.
I think we need stronger mouth guards, or we need like the football player thing here around their mouth. Maybe just on their whole face.
It's a part of like the culture of hockey that they miss teeth. Like it's just one of those things.
I don't know about that. I don't think I want to be a part of that culture.
Well, nobody's asking you to.
If you have the money to get the teeth fixed, I don't understand why you wouldn't. It's crazy to me. $8.5 million.
Because you're just going to get knocked out. It's just going to get knocked out.
But then you talking funny. Lisping. Nope, don't cancel me.
They don't care. As you mentioned, $8.5 million.
Justin, am I getting canceled like Scary Movie 7? Maybe this does inform everything people need to know about me. Damn.
Okay, I thought that it was a slip of the tongue earlier, but it is Scary Movie 6. And I want to confirm that with you because this is number 2. Okay.
Numbers are flexible.
So that's the monologue. That's the Connor Storrie monologue. But how was the rest of the episode of SNL? Like, what was the funniest sketches?
Well, there was one that was called Ice Skating. And it was like, they were actually, the way they filmed it was so cool. The premise of the sketch is that there is a couple who's having a really serious talk about their relationship. And they happen to be posted up right outside the Rockefeller ice skating rink. Mm-hmm. And Connor Storrie and 3 of his friends are being really loud and obnoxious on the ice. And then Hudson Williams skates on halfway through the sketch. And the crowd goes wild for like fully a minute. Like no dialogue was happening for a full minute. It was crazy.
Damn.
But they were actually on roller skates. And there was like a great like live green screen of the outside the studio. So it looked real, and the couple was like leaning against the wall of the skating rink, and so they're just like flying in and out of frame, saying insane stuff. It was great,
cool,
very funny. And the guy in the relationship is having a really hard time like actually focusing on the conversation because he's like so distracted by the ice skaters and what they're yelling at each other. Mm-hmm. Very good sketch. Then there was another one where Connor Storrie did a great job of impersonating an original character by oh my God.
Marco Rubio.
Yep, Marco Rubio. Marcelo Hernandez.
Yes, that's the one. The other Latino that you can think of.
Oh, dear God. Justin, don't cancel me. I'm doing it myself already. Yeah, I don't know. I don't want to talk about all the sketches.
Okay, we don't have to. But you obviously thought he gave a great comedic performance.
He did. He was good in every sketch. He was fully committed. And you can always tell when there's like not a great, when it's just not working.
Yeah.
Because they don't really usually give them like a starring feature in the sketch. They'll just have them be like a secondary character, a supporting role. But he was like front and center every sketch. Like the sketch revolves mostly around him. He was just very good.
Well, it's good to hear. It's good to see both actors from Heated Rivalry getting like a little bit more of a platform following that. And I hope that they ride that and they get a lot of roles because, capitalize on that fame, get your bag.
Yeah. It was very cool. Hudson also appeared in like one of the throwaways to the musical guest. People love that too.
Cute.
It was so cute.
Well, Geoff, that's our hot topics for today. Yeah. So let's take a quick break and we'll come back to talk about a film.
Justin, these topics are getting a little cold. I think it's time to move on.
Okay, let's do that and we'll be right back. We are back, and we are here today to talk about I would say, frontrunner for the Best Picture Oscar this year.
Hands down.
One battle after another. Our next episode is going to be about the Oscars.
Jeff Taylor's story. That's the subline.
Oh, okay. The Oscars, :
one battle after another.
Oh, you've made so many jokes about the title of this film. You've said it is the alternative title for this podcast. Do you recall that?
Yeah, that's true too. I'm still laughing.
You're like, pretty good. Who came up with that?
What comedic genius said that line?
This is a film from Paul Thomas Anderson. Mm-hmm. It stars Leonardo DiCaprio, Benicio del Toro, Sean Penn, Chase Infinity, Tiana Taylor, and Regina Hall. And this is a film that's loosely based on Thomas Pynchon's novel Vineland. It's now streaming on HBO Max.
Sure is.
So if you haven't watched it, please watch it there before the Oscars next week. It has been nominated for Best Picture, as I mentioned, and a whole bunch of other Oscars, 12 other Oscars, behind only Sinners, which of course has been nominated for a record number of Oscars this year.
16, I think.
That's right.
And that was 16, wasn't it? If you know that reference, comment below.
This film is about an ex-revolutionary named Bob, played by Leo, and his daughter Willa, played by Chase Infinity, who go on the run when an unhinged military officer named Colonel Lockjaw, played by Sean Penn, makes them after years of deep cover.
Makes them?
Yeah, you know, when somebody's undercover.
I've been made.
Exactly. That's exactly right.
I was just saying that was a funny choice. Appropriate, but funny.
I have watched this film. I watched it again last night in preparation for this episode.
Was that thrice?
This is the second time.
Okay.
I talked about it on the pod as a What's Good. So I've already given a lot of my thoughts on it. I'm very high on this film. I loved it when I first watched it. If anything, I loved it more the second time I watched it. I think because this movie has been out for so long, because it's on streaming, I just want to hear your brief high-level thoughts, and then we'll just dive right into spoilers. What do you think?
Justin is controlling the narrative. Justin said you're allowed to speak very briefly, sir.
No, we're going to talk. You're going to talk so much later about the plot developments. But
Don't
I just
tell me
want
what I'm going to do on Black History Month.
Well, tell me what you want to do.
Justin, I want to tell you that I thought that this film was excellent. I thought it was very funny. Sometimes laugh out loud funny, and other times, you know, just like, oh, that was a clever conceit. And I also thought that this film induced a great deal of anxiety, not dissimilarly from Marty Supreme. I think anxiety maybe should have been the song of the year, and also is the theme of all of the movies that seem to be nominated this year.
This is so fascinating.
Sinners, the rest. What are the other ones?
There are only 3 movies Supreme that actually came out last year.
That's all. I want to talk about a couple surprises I had.
Sure.
Firstly, Sean Penn looks crazy as fuck. I do not like him. I get a bad vibe from that man as an actor and a person. Surprise number 2. I was surprised by how little of the film Teyana Taylor's actually in.
Best Supporting Actress.
Okay, that makes much more sense. Sorry, I thought it was a Best Actress nominee. I said, wait a second now.
Nope.
Hold on here. I also want to say some of the names. Hilarious and weird.
Yep.
They felt like SNL style names, which made me think maybe Paul Thomas Anderson got his wife, Maya Rudolph, famed SNL comedian, to give him some ideas on names. Just a little thought I had. Those are my 3 surprises. Back to you.
Now that we're through those surprises.
No, that's done.
Let's take a quick spoiler break, and we'll come back and talk about the plot of the film. What do you think?
Okay. We love to spoil. I go through hell spoiling.
What's up, y'all? Editor Justin here. If you want to skip spoilers for one battle after another, you can go to 13110.
Spoilers abound, F-slurs.
We're back in the spoiler zone, Geoff.
We are in a mess, a spoiler zone. If you know that reference, comment below.
I propose an organization for our conversation into 3 acts.
Yeah.
Which mirror the 3 acts of the film.
Okay.
Act 1, the rat Perfidia Beverly Hills, which I think I would describe as the kind of prologue to the film that features Teyana Taylor. And this is set in the early 2000s. This is like, it begins with Teyana Taylor's character and Leonardo DiCaprio's character rescuing a migrant camp.
Internment camp.
And then ends essentially with the ratting.
The ratting.
Of Perfidia Beverly Hills on the rest of the French 75, the extreme terrorist organization, the far left organization that they're both a part of.
Wow, you call them terrorists, Justin? They're revolutionaries. Now I know where your political alignment is. Very centrist.
You're right. They're absolutely revolutionaries for sure. But what do you think of this section of the movie?
I thought that this section of the movie was deeply engrossing. I thought that they did an excellent job with limited dialogue telling a story, and I liked not having so much. I like not having so much dialogue. I liked us just kind of. It was like the least bad version of like montaging.
It does feel like montage, but it was very like flexible with the format of the montage. It wasn't like, okay, now we have a montage, musical cue, boom, 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 boom.
Yeah.
It was more like, you know, we're seeing important moments. Some of them are longer, some of them are shorter.
Yeah, some are like 5 minutes, some are like a 30-second clip or 2-minute scene.
Right.
I really enjoyed the kind of collaged feeling that it had, so that we really get a sense quickly who these characters are, what their revolution is fueled by, and what their platform is. And also, why should we care about them?
And it's also scored by this like incredible, like very jazzy, kind of like piano heavy score that feels like you're kind of on your toes at all times, by Johnny Greenwood of Radiohead fame. It's just a really great score to match the tone of the movie.
Yeah, remember Whiplash?
Whew.
It felt like that to me at times, the score.
Yeah, the score was very much that.
Anxiety.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Jazz anxiety. Wait, is that a good drag name? Please welcome to the stage, Jazz Anxiety.
I don't know
actually if that works. Delete that.
I would love to ask you, because I think one of the more controversial points of the film is Tiana Taylor's character, Perfidia Beverly Hills.
Complicated woman.
I think that there are two kind of complaints that are, and I don't feel this way, big fan of the film for the record, but there's a couple of complaints that have been lodged against her character.
Sure, name them.
The fact that she feels complicated about being a mother. And there's been some criticism about this movie that it is a little bit harsh on Black women and objectifies Black women. So part of that is the motherhood aspect. And then I think the second part is the way the film depicts Lockjaw's fetishization of Perfidia. I think of this scene where you see like Bob, or Ghetto Pat as he's known at this time in the film, and Perfidia kind of performing some revolutionary shit. And you see the camera kind of like starts directly on Tiana Taylor's ass.
Yeah.
And you're like, ooh, I don't know if I like the kind of a gross shot. And you're thinking this in your head, like in a metatextual way where you're like, damn, I didn't think PTA was as much of a creep. And then the camera kind of cuts to Lockjaw, who is looking at her through binoculars, right? Mm-hmm. And it is a very clear, like, oh, this guy is the creep who is like obsessed with Perfidia. So those are kind of the two criticisms I've seen lodged.
POV, you're a horny creeper.
Exactly. So I wanted to get your take on both of those, I guess.
Well, I am not a mother, nor am I a Black woman. So I could understand if people from those groups are saying those things. I would like to hear more about their argument. Mm-hmm. I'm sure that there are sensitivities there that I'm not aware of, and that's totally valid. I didn't see it that way myself. I do think that being a parent is complicated, and I think that the idea of having a child is like romanticized.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's always like, oh, you're going to have a wife and a kid, or a husband and kids and a dog and whatever. People always say, oh, well, I didn't want to have one, and then I did, and everything changed. And it's like, that is fundamentally like a universal experience, because everybody like has a child and then their life completely changes. So that really means nothing. But also, I think that it is complicated, because I think that because of the romanticization, is that a word, of being a parent, I don't think that people really know until they are doing it, or have close proximity to people who are doing it for the first time, how difficult it is emotionally and physically. It's really taxing.
Yeah.
And of course, we'll learn later in the film that there's a good reason why she feels particularly complicated about being a mother to this child.
Yeah.
So I think that we have to hold space for that. And, I do think that there are people out there who, if they were being honest, if you ask them if they're glad they're a parent, they might say no. Or they might say, I wouldn't trade my child for the world, but I would not do this again. I wouldn't make this choice again.
I know a lot of people who feel that way. And I think that there is a certain like raw quality to Tiana Taylor's performance here that really feels like real in a way.
Yeah.
And this is a part of the montage, right? I think we hear in voiceover when she says like, am I crazy for feeling jealous of my daughter?
Yeah.
For like getting the attention from my partner. And I think that's a feeling that a lot of mothers have.
Yeah.
It's like a known thing, like postpartum neglect, right? So I think that that's one part of it, that this is something that people do go through.
Right.
And then I think the second part of it is specifically Perfidia as a character, because she in this film is somebody who is like such a hardcore revolutionary. She believes in the cause, and in not just the cause, but in the methods that she is using, to such an extent that Ghetto Pat / Bob just like does not understand.
Yeah.
Bob is like, hey, we had a kid, we should probably chill.
Right.
And Perfidia is like, no, dude, the revolution will not be televised. We got to keep going.
Right. Exactly.
And I think that that's another component of her quote unquote neglect, maternal neglect, although I don't know if I would characterize it that way. But it is this inherent tension behind like aging and making change. right? And I think that tension is a big part of what this movie is about.
Yeah.
So in a lot of ways, she's kind of like the character in the film, even though she's only in the first third. Like she represents the core tension of the film. And then, of course, her daughter goes on to represent that tension in the second 2/3, I think, because in a lot of ways, she is a continuation of her mother's philosophy, tempered maybe by her father's philosophy.
Mm-hmm.
What's really interesting on my second watch, I noticed that the movie opens with Perfidia going off to, again, liberate this camp, this concentration camp. And the movie ends with her daughter going off to a protest.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like that is an intentional mirroring in the film.
Totally. I thought that was a perfect ending.
I do also just want to mention that this is probably, in terms of like straightforward, non-comedic action scenes, this has a couple of really good ones, right? There is the first kind of opening raid on this camp. And then after that, there's the car chase following the failed bank heist, right? Both of those I thought were pretty intense and pulse pounding.
Absolutely.
This movie just does everything. Like, it has drama, It has comedy, it has insane action scenes. So to me, like, this first third, when I watched it in the theater for the first time, I was like, the title card coming that late in the film, and then like we see this kind of time jump post Tiana Taylor's character's ratting. I'm like, we're that early in the film and we already went through all of that.
Right.
Like, holy shit.
They did. That's what I mean. They did such a good job of like kind of taking so much information and putting it into a very like easily digestible and entertaining, first act.
Yeah.
Also, I just want to say this.
Mm-hmm.
This movie looks so good.
Gorgeous.
Paul Thomas Anderson is so good at like coming up with a really evocative color palette and sticking with it and having it reappear in different ways throughout his entire movie. I feel like color is like such an important part of his storytelling. I'm particularly thinking of like Licorice Pizza. I'm thinking of the main character. I can't remember her character's name. The Himes.
Yeah, Alana Haim's character, yeah.
Which I was glad to see her making a cameo in one battle.
She's a revolutionary as a part of the French 75, yeah.
Mm-hmm. But I was thinking anyway of her car, that like really light blue like Mustang car, and then her wearing those like purple jeans. Mm-hmm. And I was thinking about Boogie Nights and Julianne Moore. Oh my god. Good lord, my brain. Anyway, I'm thinking of her like champagne colored like sequin dress and her like red hair. I don't know. I'm just like rambling. He just has like a clear direction of like what he wants his films to look like, and there's like a nice through line with all of them.
Yeah, it's not just like a thematically satisfying film, but it is also an aesthetically satisfying film. Not just, I mean, the coloring, you're right, is insane. I mean, a lot of this film, it feels so rich while still feeling like real.
Yeah.
And it was filmed on VistaVision.
Of course it was.
I mean, it's gorgeous. Like, just every single frame of this film. There's a couple scenes in Act 2. Let's move on to the second act of the film, which I'm calling the Battle of Baktan Cross. So this is after the time jump.
I do like these. I could see these as like the actual title card names of like, introducing each act. You did a good job.
Yeah, I mean, the Battle of Baktan Cross was actually the original name of the film.
Oh, interesting.
I think they changed it because that's kind of a bad name, one. And two, it doesn't really encompass the entire film. So I think they decided to change it up.
I'm glad that I think the title of the film is actually really good.
I agree.
It like completely
encompasses?
Yes, encompasses the inherent tension that you were talking about. The whole film is like, this revolution is ongoing. There's no end in sight, and we just have to keep it moving and keep going.
Yeah, across generations, right?
Yeah, and be, expect the unexpected and expect a fight everywhere you go at every turn.
So in this Act 2, we skip forward 15 years, and I think the opening shot is of the first time we see Chase Infinity as Willa, Bob, and Perfidia's daughter. Of course, one of the iconic needle drops of the film, Dirty Work, Steely Dan. When this came on in the theater, the smile on my face could not have been bigger. I fucking love this song. This is my soundcheck song whenever I'm setting up for a DJ set. I always play Dirty Work.
I love that.
So yeah, I have a relationship with the song. Shout out to everybody at Columbia who, damn, that's a point. That's a ding ding. Haven't said that in a minute. Shout out to everyone at Columbia who also loves Dirty Work. Gilly, Sarah, Justin, Catherine.
Oh. Listeners dear.
Yeah, so we open up on Baktan Cross, which is where the guy who is now known as Bob, formerly known as Ghetto Pat, and Willa now live.
Ghetto Pat is such a funny
Isn't
name.
it so interesting? Like, because I feel like a lot of those names were not as strange and they were very commonplace, like in the early 2000s. And like the way that people dealt with like interracial relationships and like cross-racial interactions was very different then.
Yep.
I think that's the point of the movie for sure, is like the way that things have changed and the way that Leo's character Bob has very much stayed in that past.
100%. His character Bob, or formerly Ghetto Pat, is like such like an angry, kind of fed up with the nonsense Gen Xer, and he plays it so well.
It's so good. And that's a lot of the kind of like the friction in the second act
between him and Lil.
Right. I would say that the inciting incident of this act is that Colonel Lockjaw gets a call from the Christmas Adventurers Club, who are a white supremacist group.
So funny. Because
he has now received an invite to join this group, he's like, oh shit, I may have fathered a black child.
Right.
I need to deal with that. So he goes on the hunt for Bob and Willa, and he eventually finds them. And that kind of kicks off this whole insane centerpiece of the film.
Right. I love that they call it the Christmas Adventurers Club, because I think another point that this movie is making is that racism is so fucking stupid.
Yes.
And like laughably nonsensical. And so, you know, of course, the Christmas thing, you know, we can say Merry Christmas again. It's like definitely like a wink of that kind of like MAGA nonsense that's been going on for probably the last 15 years, honestly. But it's also just like showing like they like pray to what do they call? Is it Father Christmas or Father?
Yeah, it's Father Christmas.
Yeah, they pray to Father Christmas, and you know it's just funny because it's like, wow, this is really so fucking stupid, because they're taking something that we, the viewer, associates in our world with something that is like an a-religious figure of this like magical sort of half fake holiday, and then by making it something so real in the movie, you are forced to confront the absurdity of religion.
I also feel like the Christmas Adventurers Club, sure, but also like your introduction to this pod, like there's something about it that just captures the tone of MAGA.
Yeah.
That I don't think any other film has done. Like, I don't think there's any other film that has really captured the tone so perfectly. Like dangerous lunatics, haters, and punk trash.
Yeah. So good.
It could literally be a direct quote from. Do you know what I mean? Like that could literally be a direct quote. I don't even know.
Or Gnome or Laura Loomer.
So many features of the Christmas Adventurers Club just feel so real and yet surreal. Because that is unfortunately the reality that we're living in. So yeah, I totally agree. I think that that's one of the master strokes of this film, is just the amount of silliness and absurdity that he paints the Christmas Adventurers Club as, the white supremacists as.
Yep. Love it. Love that shit. It's very fierce.
So as this is happening, and as Lockjaw is like manipulating this quote unquote immigration action, all for the purposes of, again, just finding Willa.
Yeah. Which we love that parallel too.
That's what I'm saying. This was made before the second inauguration.
Right.
The timeliness, the foresight is incredible.
But you know what, Justin? We know our customers.
Yeah.
We knew the kind of type of shit we were getting ourselves back into. And they're doing it anyway. At the birthday dinner.
So as this is happening, as, you know, essentially ice is coming down on Baktan Cross.
Yeah.
Willa goes off to a school dance, and Bob stays home, gets drunk, gets high, watches a black and white French revolutionary film because, I mean, whomst amongst us? And this leads to quite a funny comedy of errors on Bob's side. Willa pretty quickly gets scooped up by Regina Hall's character, and she is taken off in relative safety from the school dance. A couple of other banger needle drops. Mo Bamba at the high school dance. That's just real. That song's a banger. Also, Shut Up and Dance. I mean,
yeah, Shut Up and Dance was great. I was so excited to hear that song.
So he just has his finger on the pulse.
Shut up and dance with me. Yeah.
But Bob is really the focus of this second act, right? And also, I would argue, Sensei, played by Benicio del Toro.
Amazing performance. Listen, I have to say this.
Sure.
Bob made me mad.
I think he's supposed to.
He's a bumbling idiot.
Yeah.
And I just am like, we have to do better, Bob. We've got to get it together. And I know that's rich coming from me and the place I'm in currently. But it is kind of like, come on now. You let your guard down. You're not keeping up with the texts. You're not keeping up with the codes that you're supposed to know for the revolution. He can't remember the
password. He can't remember the password.
It's crazy to me. I'm like, Bob, this is your one job. This is all you have to do. And he can't do it.
Here's what's interesting about his character to me. And I said this during my What's Good, but just to repeat. Literally in the text of the film, he is not up on the language that like the progressive side is using, right?
The
like
revolutionaries.
There's the revolutionaries and then there's just Willa.
Oh, you're talking about Willa and her friends.
Exactly. When her friends come to pick up Willa, he's like, so what is that one? Like he,
the one with the lipstick coming over here in the beard.
Exactly.
Is it they, them? She's like, Dad. He goes, I just want to be polite. And that is anything but polite.
So he's not up on the language, not just of the progressive, like what is a mainstream progressive Gen Z culture, right?
Yeah.
He's also similarly, like in the subtext, not in on the language, like when he's trying to call from a payphone, the remnants of the French 75, right? Like he doesn't know what to say literally, and they won't allow him into the movement because of that.
Yeah.
And I think that the movie is trying to make a point there where it's like,
yeah, you got to keep up.
Well, you got to keep up, but also like Bob is kind of like, I mean, he's in the movement. His head is in the right place. Like theoretically, his philosophy is correct, but he's not putting in the work.
And Justin, this is given, well, I'd say a lot of the politicians in office. It's like, okay, Grandpa, let's get you to bed. We're going to take over here for now.
Yeah. And we all know this guy. Do you know what I mean? Like the person who's like gets frustrated because they're not using the right language. And
he is all of our dads or all of our dad's friends.
Yes.
That's all I have to say about that.
But like if you had to choose between Ghetto Pat and Lockjaw, like there's no question, right? Like you're picking Ghetto Pat. He's a good guy despite it all. He's just a little bit of a fucking stoner.
Yeah.
And like a little bit embarrassing.
Yeah.
As opposed to being like evil.
Ghetto Pat is the manifestation of cringe.
I would agree with that. A couple of standouts from this act, in my opinion. One, just Sensei.
Yeah.
In general, I think about the scene where he is bringing Bob through kind of like his living space and he's introducing him systematically to each and every single person in the space. Bob's freaking the fuck out and Sensei is like, ocean waves, Bob. You gotta breathe.
Yeah.
And he's also like, I have been doing this for years.
Yeah.
I know that you are maybe new to this, like that Bob's been in the revolution, sure. But for him, it's like a thing that he gets into and then he can get out of it.
Yeah.
Sensei has been living it.
Yeah. Bob turned it off for 16 years to be dad.
Right. And Benicio's like, I have all these children that are dependent on me and I've still been in the revolution this entire time. Sensei to me, in another way, I already said that Perfidia is kind of like the core of the movie, but I do feel like Sensei represents like the path forward for the movement, right? Like community focus.
Fighting the good fight. Yep, exactly. Building community.
Right. Benicio has been getting a lot of buzz in the middle of the awards run for Best Supporting. He and Sean Penn are both nominated for Best Supporting. I think that like the more typical Oscar choice will be Sean Penn, but on Oscar night, I will be rooting for Benicio. And I did pick Benicio in my predictions, but I mean, it's a very competitive category, but I do think Benicio absolutely deserves it for this one.
He was so great. He was so calming. And as a viewer, I really needed that because Bob was stressing me the fuck out by making so many stupid decisions and not fucking remembering shit that's so critical and like quite literally a matter of life and death.
Yeah.
So I needed to like relief from that. And Benicio was exactly ocean waves, like you said. He was so like, okay, this is happening. This is what we're going to do and respond to this. Like he just kept it moving because he's put so much time into like building community. He had like instantaneous like authority and respect over the space. And everybody just like listened to him and things went smoothly because of it. And I'm like, these are the people that need to be in leadership all the time, always.
People with a plan. Like, clearly, this is not his first time dealing with this. Clearly, he has a plan for dealing with this. Clearly, he cares about every single person that is living there.
Right. But yeah, I think it's more than having a plan. It's like having an outline and being able to kind of color in on the fly.
Yes, agree. Totally agree. Yeah, ocean waves, the flexibility, right?
Exactly. You're moving with the motion.
Right.
Yep. Loved it. He was very calming. Thank God for him, because otherwise Bob/Ghetto Pat would be dead as fuck.
Yeah, in 100 different ways.
In 100 different ways.
Some of the direction during this act was like also insane. Like the
So
long takes of
I was just gonna say
of Sensei walking through the living space.
Yep.
Incredible. Some of the best comedic work too, like when he says like "Viva la Revolucion." Just absolutely incredible.
It is great. He's so cringe.
He's so funny. And let's give Leo credit for that.
100%. He was great in this film.
Leo, complicated character, excellent actor. He kind of has
100%.
settled into this like embarrassing dad archetype post Revenant, I think, which I think is like, it suits him.
Yeah, because he did kind of play that similar vibe in Don't Look Up.
Yeah, a little bit embarrassing for sure.
Yeah,
and then also Killers of the Flower Moon.
I didn't watch it.
Yeah, he plays kind of like
too long.
Again, like a misguided white guy in Killers of the Flower Moon as well. So yeah, he does a great job. An incredible comedic actor. And I feel like, I'm sure people are realizing that now, but maybe in his early career was not as well understood. But he is a really incredible comedic actor.
I agree.
The other scene that really stands out to me is when Bob and like the skater guys are like jumping from rooftop to rooftop. There's some insanely like just beautiful shots like of the skaters silhouetted against the sunset in the background, where I was just like, holy shit, freeze frame any of these.
Right.
This is like a desktop background.
And explosions and fireworks. It was pretty amazing.
Right.
Gotta laugh at Bob absolutely eating shit.
So fucking funny.
Falling 40 feet to the ground, hitting a tree on the way down. Crazy.
And then he gets up. He's like, okay, I guess I better run. 2 seconds later, he's tased.
Yeah. It was crazy, Justin. I was like, did this just happen?
Incompetence.
So funny. And you know what, again, I loved about the next scene when he's in processing and at the hospital?
Yeah.
Once again, we've got Sensei.
Let's fucking go.
Has a plan A, a plan B, and then a safety net.
Yep.
And he's built community, and the nurses in the hospital are like basically walking Pat through how you're going to escape and doing it covertly right underneath the nose of the cops. Pretty amazing work.
And now we're into Act 3.
Act 3.
Which I'm calling Sisters of the Brave Beaver, which is, again,
such
an
a great
SNL
name.
Level name.
It really is.
If Act 1 is Perfidia's act,
yeah,
and if Act 2 is Sensei's act, Act 3 is Willa's act. I feel 100%. Like this is where Chase Infinity, she was running a Best Actress campaign. And I had seen this in late September, early October. And I feel like in my mind, the movie kind of dimmed a little bit. And I was like, I don't remember her doing that much in this film.
Disagree.
I feel like my mind has changed after rewatching it. I'm like, holy shit, this is her debut film.
Yeah, she's so good. It's crazy.
And she stands up next to some of the best actors in the business. Leo.
Yeah.
Sean Penn.
To say nothing of Regina Hall.
Crazy, crazy stuff.
Who did great work in this scene too, or in this act as well.
I would agree, yeah. Also, Regina Hall, a very important character just thematically in this act, I think.
Yeah.
I would say that this begins when Bob is kind of rescued by Sensei from the hospital. And we see that Willa has been brought to this revolutionary nunnery where they grow weed out in the country called the Sisters of the Brave Beaver. Regina Hall brings her there. She's the person who has kind of rescued her and brought her to this community. And this is also where Willa has to kind of reckon with her parents' legacy.
Right.
All three of her parents, because there is, of course, Perfidia, who she learns is a rat during this act.
Mm-hmm.
She also learns that Colonel Lockjaw is her biological father.
Yeah. Harrowing scene.
And she also, of course, learns that Bob has been lying to her about her mother. So there's a lot of different conflicting emotions going on in Willa's head during this segment. What stood out to you about Act 3?
Well, to me, this is when the cinematography of the film really reached a peak for me. And I was like, damn, this is incredible. Driving through the desert. Point of view as the drivers, and then also point of view as the other people being followed, the ups and downs. I did get a little bit of vertigo.
Yeah, a little bit of seasickness there.
A little bit of vertigo, yeah. It was amazing.
We'll come back to some of the earlier scenes, but since you brought it up, the climax, I would say, is the chase scene. It's the kind of tripartite chase scene between Bob, the guy from the Christmas Adventurers Club, whose name I'm forgetting right now.
Yeah, the hitman. John, Joe, Tom, something like that.
Who knows?
Some white guy name.
Chad.
Yeah.
And Willa, right? And that was like one of the most inventive cinematography moves I've seen in a film like ever, probably.
Yes, I agree.
The motion up and down across this natural landscape of like Southern California.
Yeah. Hilly desert.
Yeah, just incredible. And like the tension that's built, because you're going up and down these hills and your view of the road is being cut off every time that you go down a hill. Yeah. And then when you come up, you're like, how close is this other car that's following me now?
Right.
So it's like this like rhythm of reveals.
A rhythmic chase scene. It was very good.
When I watched it with Brandy, what I came away with, like the most shocking revelation in that rhythm was when Bob's car showed up. And you're like, let's go. Like, because you see that Will is being chased by this hitman. But then after a while of this chase, you see Bob's car. And you're like, holy shit, it's about to go down.
Worlds collide.
I do want to shout out the parentage scene. The scene where Willa finds out that Lockjaw is her father.
Mm-hmm. Excellent eye acting.
Lockjaw just such a piece of shit.
He really is. Hate him.
He is at the absolute worst. We all know this guy. We saw his truck in Act 1.
No moral compass. Oh my God, the dick truck. Not the dick truck.
The dick truck.
Not the dick truck.
The compensating truck, you know?
Ugh.
There's also the too tight t-shirt, which Willa calls out, which got a lot of laughs in this household.
Yeah.
Brandy found that very funny.
Why is your t-shirt so tight?
So he's funny. Like, I'm not gay if that's what you're insinuating.
Yeah. Loved it.
It's hard to be an actor that's playing somebody acting, but like it's very clear that Lockjaw is like his whole persona is acting.
100% so put upon.
He has this walk where he's like, it is a very militarized lifestyle, right? Like he's trying to put on this air of discipline and rigidness and like hardness.
Yeah.
For who? Who are you doing this for?
Literally. For other men's validation.
That's exactly right.
For the validation of the Christmas Adventurers.
And I feel like we really got to know both Willa's character and Lockjaw's character in that scene.
Mm-hmm. Will's got that good fight in her.
She does. She has a lot of her mom in her, which again is another piece of this act, I think, that she reckons with, right? Like, which parts of my mom do I want to embrace and which parts do I not want to embrace?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And you know what? I feel like that's something that every child who knew their parents can relate to.
Yeah. A common theme to A Night of the Seven Kingdoms that we talked about last week. Yeah.
How about that? That's a callback.
Yeah, it was really incredible character work. Following that scene, this is when Bob finally finds the Sisters of the Brave Beaver and he starts chasing Lockjaw down. But Lockjaw actually passes her off to like
some hired gun, let's say.
Yeah, like a hired gun, a hitman. Yeah. That was featured earlier in the film, but was kind of a minor character. And funny enough, Lockjaw, after all of this, is like too much of a coward to like actually do the thing that he has to do, which is like to kill his daughter. And he's like, I actually can't get my hands messy like that, so why don't you do it? But even the hitman is not willing to kill a child. So he's like, okay, fine, just pass him off to this like extremist far right militia. I think they're called like 1776, of course. I feel like this is one of the more tense scenes in the film.
Very much.
When the hitman passes her off to the militia. This is also some of the best acting from Chase Infinity, I think. Mm-hmm. What did you think of this scene?
I thought that this scene was really terrifying because you knew that this was not going to go down well, but you really weren't sure like for whom and you know what kind of casualties were going to occur. And it was also like really awful to see this hired gun is, I think they said on background of the character that he is like half Mexican, but passes for some other something. I forget what it was. Or he was an indigenous person.
They said that he was half Mexican, but he's actually indigenous.
Got it. Okay.
For whatever, because of this white supremacist bullshit, they're like, for whatever reason, being half Mexican is better than being like Native American. There's all kinds of allusions to that. Like when he drops Willa off to this white supremacist group, they talk about how he's gone off that fire water. They call him red. So there's like all kinds of shitty things that are related to his ethnicity that they say during that part. And it is an important part of what happens next.
Right. So I was saying that I'm like, how is this person of color passing off another person of color to an openly hostile and racist white supremacist, or well, that kind of goes without saying, white supremacist like militia. This is crazy. I'm like, he's doing this for coin and like throwing away all morality.
Yep.
And then of course we see him have second thoughts because he already was like, I don't want to kill this kid. And so this was his alternative. So that he also didn't have to get his hands messy. Like, bring him to the most amoral people that exists and they'll do it.
Yeah.
But I love that he had like kind of a change of faith and realized I can't actually just give this girl over to these people, and goes back with a huge gun ready to absolutely blow everybody to smithereens and take her back to safety.
Yep. And he gives Willa the keys to her handcuffs first. And then he's like, okay, I'm going to blow this guy's head off with my shotgun. It was for a character that had very little screen time, it was really a hell yeah moment for me. Yeah. I was like, fucking yes. It felt really good to see him finally just like stand up to people. And then it, of course, led to this really tense moment where Willa is like trying to start his car.
Yeah.
But she can't because he has the keys. And this moment of like, oh shit, I guess I have to go and grab the keys from his pocket. And we're not sure who's alive.
Yeah.
In my mind, the shot that sticks is when because her hands are still tied with a zip tie during this, but it's when she's like whipping the car around one-handed, like with the steering wheel. That shot is stuck in my brain.
It was so well done.
The camera moves with the car. You see the door slam shut. It is just incredible shit. It's just so good and so tense, so satisfying when she finally gets away.
It was incredible.
So good. And then, of course, that's followed by the chase scene that we already described, which is really incredible. What we didn't talk about was, I guess, the conclusion of that chase scene. Willa, who, of course, as we've seen, is like a very smart and resourceful person. Over one crest of a hill, she slams the brakes, gets out the car, and with the bounty hunter's gun, sets a position and waits for the other bounty hunter to come over the crest.
Blinded by the light, crashes into her car, is so fucked up, gets out of the car, and Willa's like, you gotta go.
Well, she says the code words, right? Hooterville Junction, Beverly Hillbillies. He doesn't know, of course, because he's a part of the Christmas Adventurers Club, and she shoots him.
Yep.
But then, of course, Leo's right behind. Bob's right behind.
Yeah.
And this, to me, on second viewing, this was like a very emotional moment for me, because I knew it was going to happen, but it's very meaningful that after everything, she eventually accepts Bob.
Yeah.
I think that is kind of the thematic level to that scene, is she's like, I don't even know who you are anymore.
Right.
Like, my entire worldview has changed, and I don't know if I trust you, even though he is her father. What did you think of that part, that final confrontation between Bob and Willa?
I feel similarly. This scene felt like she was choosing Bob, because she did have like a moment where she hesitated and was like, say the code. And he's like, I don't fucking remember the code. This is crazy. He's like, I've been looking for you. You're my daughter. And she's like, all right.
Yep.
She kind of like accepts him like with an eye roll, but is like, this is my dad.
Yeah.
Even if he lied to me, wasn't completely honest with me, he's kept me safe and has, tried to find me.
Yeah. Very emotional scene.
Yeah.
And then there's the falling action where we see,
right.
They're back in their home in Bagton Cross. Willa reads a letter from her mother, which I think to me was the other culmination. And I think a revelation about how Perfidia felt about her daughter. Because I think there was like an open question, right? Like whether or not she still cared.
Because they haven't seen each other. Perfidia is presumed dead, or like has spread the story that she's dead, right? I forget.
She was in like witness protection and then she escaped. Right. So she's actually still wanted by the US. I think she's like kind of on the run.
She's on the lam.
Right. But yeah, like we don't really know we didn't know until now that Perfidia did have like regrets and thoughts about Willa. And I think that this does resolve a lot of those issues that I was talking about when we were going through Act 1, where it's like, yeah, of course she has a complicated relationship with Willa. It's not as simple as she abandoned her. She was in a very strange situation where the option was either go into witness protection and rat on everybody else, or they're going after me and my family.
Yeah.
So it's not as simple as I think some people make it out to be, people who are critics of the film.
I agree. And you know what? I usually don't like letters in a film, but I felt like this was done pretty well and was necessary
Yeah, for Perfidia's character.
We had to kind of close the loop and understand, like, what is this character's resolution?
That it does close the loop on Perfidia's character, and I think it also like opens the potential future for Willow's character. We kind of already saw that she had semi-accepted Perfidia's like role in her life at the Sisters of the Brave Beaver, but I think this really allows her to kind of open up and continue fighting the fight, which is how the movie ends.
Exactly.
And it ends on a needle drop. And just for the record, because you've said on the pod that you hate this song, how'd you feel about the needle drop at the end of the film?
Okay, well, I don't remember what it was.
It was American Girl by Tom Petty.
Oh, that's right.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, okay.
On the nose, sure.
It's not good. It's not a good song. It's overused.
Overused?
American Girl by Tom Petty is overused in everything.
I mean, it's a popular song.
Yeah. For what reason?
Because it's good.
Okay.
I don't like the hootenanny aspect of it, but...
Oh, yeah. All right. Take it easy, darling. Yeah, I just, like, don't love Tom Petty, I guess. Or the Heartbreakers.
I thought it was an inspired, if on the nose, closing song. I thought it was pretty good. Pretty nice. Yes.
Explain that one, please.
The whole concept of the film is that this struggle of one battle after another is indeed, it's a transgenerational struggle.
Trans?
That's gender ideology. No, it's a transgenerational struggle that is it's a uniquely American struggle. And I do think that one of the points that the movie is making is that it is a struggle that has been like led on the front lines by largely Black women. And it also talks about, Latino folks. And it also mentions white allies, of course. But I think that this really is like an absolute ode to Black women. And it is from the perspective of a white director and a white writer in Paul Thomas Anderson, right? But it is clearly a white director who has experience with a lot of Black women, including his wife, his daughters. I think that it comes from a lived place, and that's why Bob is like the center of the film, and it's very self-deprecating in that way.
That's an interesting observation. Maybe Ghetto Pat is a little bit inspired by how Paul Thomas Anderson feels. Almost like a culture vulture.
Well, I think that's like where a lot of the complicated criticism comes into this film, right? Because it's like, of course, this is coming from the perspective of a white guy. So like, how much can it really say about Black women? And I have to say that given that this is Paul Thomas Anderson's perspective, I think it's about as good as you can possibly get.
Well, I think if you think about all the Black women in this film and the Latino men, actually really all the people of color in this film.
Anybody who's doing any work in this film, right?
Yeah, exactly. They are all people of color who are making it happen, who are grounded in reality, who don't have any kind of aggrandized vision of their ideology other than what is like just right and what is not right, And the white people look crazy because they are.
But I think that like the portrait of Bob is also it's, if you think of it as a stand-in for PTA, it is a sympathetic portrayal. It's not like a 100%. Self-hating portrayal, right?
Yes.
He's clearly an ally and his head is in the right place.
Exactly.
But it is a dad movie in that way.
He's well-intentioned.
Right. He's very well-intentioned.
Yeah.
Yes.
He means well.
He's just a little bit out of touch. He's destroyed his brain with drugs and alcohol.
Listen, don't I know that feeling? My God. Really making it through this pod.
I think this is just such a wonderful movie. And on rewatch, I'm like, I'm rooting for this for Best Picture.
This is a movie I'm going to watch again. And I don't do that too often, but it was really good. Really good.
So great.
Very funny, very entertaining, gorgeous to watch. We love VistaVision. And, I love Paul Thomas Anderson. Boogie Nights, one of my favorite films. And One Battle After Another, I think it's on that list too.
Damn. Well, I love to hear it. I'm glad because you did say on a previous episode that you were struggling to press the play button on this one.
Justin, I've been struggling in general. Let's talk about that. Let's have that conversation. But I just have a hard time, as you know, committing to long form stuff. And this movie is not short.
Right. Let's talk about that. Because did it feel like it was short. 2 hours and 40 minutes long to you?
It felt a little bit long during the falling action.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, all right, I think we almost get it.
Almost.
You know, I was kind of like, I think this can be done soon.
You could just close it here.
Right.
No Tom Petty.
Well, yeah, I mean, if I knew then what I know now. But I do think that the rest of the film went by very quickly. I was not checking my watch or my phone while I was watching this. It was that good. Although that's not actually true because I was live texting you reactions.
That is true. I watched this with Brandy, and it was Brandy's first time watching it. And first of all, I was a little bit worried because I was like, oh, this is kind of a long film. Like, I had the same feeling that you did, pressing the play button. And then I was also like, damn, I wonder if Brandy's going to be into this because it is kind of long. Like, I wouldn't say she's a PTA head.
Yeah.
But she loved it. And I didn't feel bored at any point during the film. And it's just,
if it's good, it's good.
It's both a thematically satisfying and just like riveting film in terms of the action, in terms of the drama, in terms of the acting. I have no complaints.
These are the kind of movies we need. It is a complete work. The acting on point, the writing on point, cinematography on point, coloring on point, storyboarding on point, story writing on point, dialogue on point, all the direction, all the choices made. So good. Such a high bar. This is the best picture of 2025.
Damn. That's a strong statement. And with that, Geoff, let's take a quick break. And we'll be back for What's Goods.
Fucking slave owners everywhere.
We're back.
Justin, we're so back. And we're so at that point of the podcast where we have to share with our listeners, dear, and each other, some of our favorite media that we've consumed in the last week. So I'd like to ask you, Justin, what's good?
Well, Geoff, I have a quick one this week. A couple of Brandy and I's friends are leaving DC, and it was their last night in DC, and we were having a movie night. And I happened to have acquired this newly released 4K of All the President's Men, which is a 1976 movie. You may have heard of it. I think listeners
of course
have probably heard of it, may have even watched it in school in some class or something. This is a film that was directed by Alan J. Pakula, and it stars Robert Redford, the late Robert Redford, and Dustin Hoffman. It was kind of a coincidence that we ended up watching this as their last night in DC. But it was such an appropriate film to watch. It's a great DC film. It was filmed on location in DC, so there were a lot of recognizable locations. It, of course, features two journalists from the Washington Post who are uncovering the Watergate scandal that eventually unsat Nixon.
Got it.
And this is a Warner Bros. Film. There are multiple levels of like, we used to have it so good in this country. You know, we used to be a country. It's also just like such a banger of a movie. Robert Redford and Dustin Hoffman have a great bromance here. It's very focused on the process of the journalism. And that's something that I've realized that I really love.
Do you?
Pluribus was very heavy on process. You know, there's a lot of scenes of just people doing stuff. And yeah, this movie fucking rocks. And I love physical media. Get the 4K. It was recently released by Warner Brothers Home Media. Give this movie a watch. I believe it's also streaming on HBO Max if you haven't yet seen it and you don't want to buy the 4K. Also, who has a 4K Blu-ray player? I think I'm the only person I know. Yeah.
How much did that set you back?
Well, my Xbox has a 4K Blu-ray player built in, so I just use that.
The question stands.
Well, do you want to know, really, how much I bought that Xbox for? Well, it's an Xbox Series X, and I got it for $300, which was actually a pretty cheap buy at the time. So I got it for a little bit of a discount, which was nice.
Not too bad, not too bad.
But yeah, this movie rules. It's very riveting for a movie that's mostly people talking on dial telephones and typing on typewriters. Yeah, I'd highly recommend it. All the President's Men.
Okay, I like that.
Have you seen this? So you've seen this movie?
No.
I thought you said you had. Okay.
You said people might have heard of this, and I said, of course I have.
Oh, you've heard of it?
Yeah.
I think you love it. It's a very propulsive film.
Propulsive?
There's a lot of people who, you know, journalists, they're dedicated to the craft. They're not like highfalutin, in your words.
Yeah.
They don't have their head in the clouds thinking about the philosophy of America or whatever, but their work is what most of the freedoms of America is built on.
Right.
And this movie really gets that across. And I thought it was just incredible. Also incredible cinematography and direction. So definitely recommend that you watch it.
Justin, thank you for that wonderful and glowing, I would say, recommendation.
Of course. And Geoff,
Yep.
I would love to hear from you a wonderful and glowing recommendation. So what's good with you this week?
Justin, have you heard about Wilson?
Not before tonight. So tell me about her.
Tell you about them. Not talking about the volleyball from Castaway. Not talking about the athletics company even. I'm talking Wilson, W-I-L-S. Okay, hold on. W-I-L-S-N. That's how they spell Wilson. Wilson is a singer, songwriter, soulful chanteuse. Chartreuse is green.
Chartreuse.
The shade of green. Oh, God. Now I've really screwed myself up.
It's okay. You're saying chartreuse. I'm misgendering. We're all imperfect people.
We're doing a bad bunch of shit here. Wilson is an Australian singer, songwriter, chanteuse, if you will. Excellent singer. This artist has put out an album in October of 2025. It's called Bloom. It is like a 1960s/70s inspired soul music album sung by this nice little white artist, and they do a great job. There's a couple of songs that I want to talk about that I really enjoyed listening to. And by the way, the reason I was exposed to this is because I was watching my YouTube shorts, and this was like a sponsored video that like their record label was promoting.
Should we get on YouTube Shorts?
Yeah.
Should everybody get on YouTube Shorts?
Everyone got to get on YouTube Shorts. Watch our content there.
Vance Pod, baby.
I have to say there was a couple of really good songs on the album that I was enjoying. Oh, I do want to say this. In addition to it being inspired by like our parents' generation of soul music, what is really cool about this is that it was recorded all live to tape.
Oh, to tape.
Yeah, nobody's doing that anymore.
That's like VistaVision level.
Live vocals. It is like the VistaVision of music, Justin. That's exactly right. It's recording on tape. We love it. So a couple songs that I really enjoyed that were on this album, and it's a short album, which you know I love. There's a song called Girl, all capital letters.
I just adore you. So if your world is going crazy, I'll be at your...
Another song called Weightless, and another one called Waiting for You. Oh, and The Way. Very, very good songs. Really enjoyed them. If you're into soul music, if you like the warm cashmere feeling of an Adele album around Thanksgiving time, if you enjoy
an Olivia Dean,
I think you'll really enjoy listening to Wilson, and their album Bloom came out in 2025. Give it a spin, why don't you?
I'll have to. I think I listened to one of their songs, and I'm forgetting the name. When I saw it on the show doc, I was like, okay, let me give this a quick listen.
Yeah.
I did think, I was like, this is like old school for Geoff. I know that you've been more interested in kind of like more traditionally influenced music with Olivia Dean and stuff, but even in that context, I was like, this is some old school shit.
Justin, I love a park and bark.
You do.
And you know what? Let's talk about this real quick. I think that more karaoke setups and bars should allow for a park and bark moment.
A mic stand?
Yeah, that's where I fly, Justin. I live there. This walking around having to entertain, holding the microphone. What am I, Britney Spears?
You like to stand and do some hand motions like...
Absolutely. I'm casting a spell. You know, we're doing these kind of fingers. We're doing this. Da, da, da. Grab the mic and bring it in a little close for some drama.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we got to put on a show. And so, listen, if any of you karaoke DJs out there are listening, consider a mic stand. I think it could be a good investment that will bring a great deal of entertainment value. Return on investment, high. What does a mic stand cost? $5?
What does a banana cost, Michael?
And if you get that reference, comment below.
That's 100% not how much it costs. I also feel like, listen, hate to be devil's advocate here, but...
Oh my God. But of course you will. It's never stopped you before.
You're going to give drunk people a blunt object to swing around.
We're already handing them a heavy ass microphone.
That's true. Have you ever seen a karaoke debacle where they're swinging it around? I've seen that.
And you know what happens in a well-run establishment? The DJ turns off the microphone or says, "I'll take that. Thank you. We're not doing that."
They say, "You get out."
Yeah. You get out of here.
That's exactly
it.
Yeah.
I want to be in charge of a lot of things and be able to say that. I just want to go, "You get out of here right now."
You've had different philosophies on being in charge over the years.
No, we're not doing that. Goodbye. Goodbye, Kyle. And if you get that reference, comment below and don't forget to like and subscribe.
Is that reference number 4 or reference number 5?
We're at least 8 now.
Okay, well, Geoff, with that 8th reference.
One reference after another. Alternative title for the app.
Let's call it, Geoff. This is the end of the episode. This has been a fun one.
I think it's for the best.
Genuinely, I am so excited that you love this movie as much as you did.
I loved this movie. Truly one of my favorites. Really enjoyed it.
And I'll be back next week with, of course, the fucking Oscars. The Academy Awards.
The fucking Academy Awards. I can't wait to discuss. And I can't wait to let all the listeners know that I've won our competition once again.
It's too early for you to be saying that.
Your defeat is imminent, Justin.
Okay. I can't wait for my win, my victory in this competition.
I don't even believe you for a moment that you believe that, because that was a terribly flat delivery.
It's called modesty. Humility.
You know, I'm well aware of what that is. I'm glad that you have just learned this term. You're doing that thing where you
I've just learned it.
Like, let me tell you. Well, you're always out here talking about Columbia. Well, I went to Columbia.
My God.
Have you heard of? I went to school in Morningside Heights. It's like every bitch that's like, "Oh, where'd you go to school?" "Oh, I went to school in New Haven." You can just say Yale.
When have I ever said Morningside Heights?
To Cambridge. Justin, you just said it. You're proving my point exactly. We gotta go. Just hand me the shovel, Mary. Hand me the shovel.
Okay, bye.
Bye. This has been Bants with Geoff and Justin. Bants is created and produced by me, Geoff Taylor, and Justin Benavides. Graphic design also by me, editing by Justin. The theme music for Bants is The Track Nebraska With You by Sam Day and is provided by No Copyright Sounds. Email us at bantspod@gmail.com with any questions, recommendations, or just to say hi. And if you like the podcast, don't forget to rate and review us on Apple, Spotify, or YouTube. Tell your friends. Bye.
Bye.
Slave owners everywhere.
And we love Bob for that, you know? We love Bob for that.
That was very funny. That was very funny. That was one of my favorite lines.
My personal favorite was when he got off the... I know we're still talking about the movie, but it was when he got the phone call that they were like, "They're after you." And he was like talking to himself and he was like, "Okay, Bob, stay calm, stay calm, stay calm." And then he goes... takes another hit.
Such an idiot.
He's such a fucking dumbass. Brandy was literally like, "Stop."
I know. It is crazy.
Okay, do you want a break or are you good?
No, I'm good.
Okay.